Hello and welcome to 50 Fabulous Knits. My name is Pia. I am a Danish knitter coming to you this week from the past. I am recording this while still in Dubai, but if everything goes according to plan, I will be in Texas once this video goes up. I just really wanted to record an episode today because I have a few new cast-ons that I really want to show, and also I have drawn the winners of our knit along, the ACAL 2021. So let's get into it, shall we? Today I am wearing my Texas tee. I have shown this before on the podcast. It is probably one of my most worn knits. This is gonna sound crazy, but I have knits that I put on, that I dress in, and then I have knits that I just wear. And that sounds crazy, but for some of my knits, I think about the styling, I think about the outfit that I'm putting together, and with other knits, I just pop them on over whatever I'm wearing. And the Texas tee is definitely one of the latter category. It's a thing that I just pop on over whatever I'm wearing, be it shorts, jeans, skirts, dresses. It just goes with everything and it's so easy to wear. I do talk more about it in my episode 19. I talk about the yarn and I show it in a little more detail. I just wanted to mention it here today. The pattern is available on Ravelry and in my own web shop. But what I really wanted to show you is my birthday cast on, because that's a thing. I cast on yet another version of my chicken knit. And I did so because I really wanted this version, this black and white with the gold details, but also because this is almost done in testing. I still need to hear back from a couple of testers, but next weekend I hope to be able to release the pattern for my chicken knit. And during the testing, there has been some tweaks to the pattern and also some changes to the color work to make it even more balanced and as I wanted. So I thought I would knit up a sample following the new improved pattern so that it will be ready for when I release the pattern. This version, I have shown multiple versions of my chicken knit on this channel, but this version is knit in a sport weight yarn where the others are all knit in fingering weight. So this is a heavier garment. It's not thick, it's not heavy as such, but of course it is heavier than when knit up in fingering weight. I have used a rustic wool for this one, and it's all my own hand-dyed yarn. About my hand-dyed yarn, I still cannot convince my web shop to speak English, and I cannot figure out how to allow shoppers from outside of Denmark to not pay Danish sales taxes. But if that's okay with you, you can always drop me an email telling me whichever yarn you want, and we'll try to figure out something. This is on the base that I call Solstrife in the rustic version, the non-superwash version. And I am just loving this yarn. It is so easy to knit color work with a non-superwash yarn because it will just, it's so toothy, so it will lock itself and make for a very smooth and even result even before you ever block the garment. The colors that I'm using is the light gray here is my Bilate gray. The dark brownish black is Westen vom Mond, west of the moon. The golden color is my gullfugl, golden bird. And then this gray here, this medium gray, is actually just some drops Lima, which is a DK weight, but it doesn't matter too much when you're knitting color work. It will just make the pattern pop even more. So yeah, I'm really enjoying working on this one. It's just flying off the needles. I cast this on the day before yesterday, and I knit and I knit and I knit. And yeah, I am almost ready to start the ribbing on the body, and then I just have the sleeves to go. And tomorrow I have 17-hour flight to Dallas, so I'm probably gonna finish the sleeves, to be honest, because they go by super quickly. I always knit my sleeves on small circumference circulars. It's just so much easier than knitting them with magic loops. So I bought a set of Lykke needles with the short tips. You see here, the tips are relatively short, which means that you can also use shorter cables, and they're just perfect for knitting sleeves. So I'm just gonna zoom around on this while I fly across the ocean to my little babies. So looking forward to finally being able to publish this pattern. As I said, I hope that it will be next weekend, but I will, of course, announce on Instagram when it happens. I also started my Christmas sweater. I'm all about the special knits these days. Every year I knit a Christmas sweater for myself, and they're, to be honest, not very Christmassy. I'm not one for making little Santas or reindeer or whatever Christmassy themed sweaters you see out there. I usually choose a sweater that I can use year round, but maybe I use some colors that are Christmassy to me, or I put in little hearts in the color work. Hearts is a big part of Danish Christmas decorations. This year I am knitting a new design that I'm working on. I'm calling it First Snow. Actually, I gave it the name because the colors were supposed to be reversed. It was supposed to be a black top with light gray, almost white snowflakes here and ice flowers. But yeah, I don't know. I had to change it around. But it is a very light and airy top. I'm gonna give it short sleeves so that I can wear it for all the Christmas events that we have, the family gatherings, the gatherings with friends, and I can wear this and feel absolutely elegant and Christmassy at the same time. As you can see, it has a rather open neck here, and then it has this color work section on the yoke, and the rest of the top is just going to be knit down in plain stockinette. I'm going to make it relatively short, as I usually do, because that's a nice look, I think. And also, if I want to put a jacket over it, if I'm going out to a restaurant, it might be a little cold, I'm going to put on a jacket, and then it looks nice if it's a shorter top. I'm not talking crop top, but just so that it hits me right at the top of my hip rather than mid-hip. the very special thing about this sweater is the yarn. Oh my God, the yarn. It's a cashmere blend. It's baby alpaca, silk, and cashmere. I cannot describe how soft it is. It's like butter pancakes and baby necks. It is so soft and so beautiful. The silk content makes it drapey and heavy, and the alpaca of course too, and the cashmere just makes it so soft. I must say that I'm quite impressed with this yarn, because this has been knit, frock back, re-knit, frock back. This is the 4th edition of the sweater, and look, the yarn still looks really pretty. I think it's probably the silk content that makes for this very durable yarn, and then the cashmere and the alpaca gives it, I don't know if that comes through on the camera, but it does have a beautiful halo, just a slight beautiful halo. And now that I'm holding it up like this, you can also see that I have, rather than trying to hide the increases for the yoke, I have made them into a pattern. So I have the increases forming these almost triangular shapes up here, and then also the little crosses hides lots of increases. I have a thing for rounded yokes. I think they're so pretty. It's so easy to put any pattern on them, and they're just very flattering on the body. Super easy to knit, but I don't like when you just distribute the increases evenly over the yoke and call it a day, because I can see them. No matter what I do, I can always see them. So I am doing everything I can to either hide them or, in this case, showcase them and just let them tell the world that they're here. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this pattern. And yeah, even though I knit this so many times, I'm still not tired of knitting it. It's super easy color work. If you have never done color work before, this is super easy. The crosses are not necessarily the easiest stitch to perform, but it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable, but yeah, you do need to be mindful of how much you tighten the yarn when you're making them. But yeah, I am enjoying working on this one, and this is just stockinette in the round. So this probably also goes on the plane with me. If I get tired of knitting color work, then I can switch to this one and just zoom around like a zombie while watching some movies or whatever. I also downloaded a couple really nice audiobooks, so I will have plenty of entertainment for the flight. But I really think that I'm going to enjoy knitting on this and wearing it, definitely wearing it. I was just saying before how knitting color work with a rustic yarn is such a pleasure, because stitches just lock onto each other and you get a very smooth result. This yarn is super wash treated, so it's a different story. When you knit it, it may look a little wonky, but as soon as you this one, I just gave a light steam over the coffee maker here in the hotel room, but yeah, you make do, right? As soon as you either give it a little steam block very, very lightly or start wearing it, the heat will actually make the yarn fall into place. Because the fibers are so smooth, the yarn will just fall into its place and start to drape beautifully around your body. The light gray yarn is some yarn that I picked up when I was at a fiber festival in Denmark here in the fall. It is from the Danish hand dyer Henriette. She has a shop called By Kiilerich, and she figured out how to ship internationally. I bought 2 skeins of this light gray. It's the undyed yarn because I thought I would make a cowl. I mean, I felt it. I touched this yarn and I thought, oh, it needs to be really close to my skin. But yeah, the cowl never came to be. But then I decided to use it in this sweater, and Henriette kindly gifted me the other color, the black one, so that I could make this beautiful, beautiful pattern. So, birthday sweater and Christmas sweater, it's a happy week, right? And I have one more new cast on, and I know I have projects that I could be working on, but I really wanted to work on these special projects. The last new cast on that I have is something that I have had in mind for quite a while. As returning viewer will know, I am on my way to Texas because my daughter-in-law over there is pregnant. On December 6th, we're gonna meet our new grandson, Lucas, and I have knit bits and pieces for him. I also wanted to make him something that we in Danish call a sutteklud, and I think the English term for it is a security blanket. So you have these blankets, soft, small blankets, often with a little animal or head knit into it so that baby can cuddle up with it. So I made a little bunny, and he just needs the blanket part, which I have begun knitting. Didn't get very far, but really, isn't he cute? He's so sweet. I just knit a ball, plain ball, embroidered the eyes and the nose. Then I knit some long fluffy ears and sewed those on. And the blanket part, I started with very few stitches. And then I did increases on every stitch for the first 3 rounds. And following that, I am doing raglan increases on 2 sides. And I'm basically gonna knit until I run out of yarn, and that will be Lucas's security blanket. I really hope that he will enjoy it. I can't wait to give it to him. I also finished the cardigan for Lucas. If any of you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen it. I'll just pop a photo here because I'm not gonna go into the vortex that is my suitcases. It's like, oh, I can only just open them ever so slightly and roam around and find something and pull it out. It's terrible. I did a horrible job packing my suitcases. But anyway, the cardigan is finished. It's done. I talked about it on my last episode where I told you how I was knitting it using the pattern for the family sweater and then just adding in some stitches for steeking it. I added 5 stitches for steeking. And then after knitting it and re-knitting it because I ran out of yarn, so I had to rip back a sleeve and a half plus half of the body. But anyway, now when it was done, I picked up the stitches for the bottom bands. I knit those, and then I crocheted over some of my steeking stitches. And I was very careful to crochet over not a full stitch, but one leg each from 2 stitches, so that I would lock everything down perfectly. I did a really good job, and I also told you last time, I think I was kind of smug. I was like, yeah, I've been sticking stuff for 40 years. I can do that in my sleep. Yeah. When I was ready to cut the cardigan open, I for some reason decided to cut between the picked up stitches and the crochet row rather than between the 2 crochet rows. Good job. Yeah, I was very proud of myself. But I went over it with just some regular sewing thread and just sewed over it a couple of times. And it is a rustic yarn held together with a silk mohair, so I'm sure it's gonna hold up. But there you have it. Don't be smug. Respect your knitting, because your knitting will get you if you don't. But it all turned out well. There's a beautiful cardigan for Lucas, and hopefully also soon a security blanket for him. And I can't wait to give everything to him. As I mentioned at the top of the episode, I have also drawn the winners of our knit along, our accessory along ACAL 2021. But before I announce the winners, I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who made this knit along such a joy to host. Thank you for posting all the wonderful photos of your projects. Thank you for providing this wealth of inspiration. Now I know where to go if I ever find myself in a knitting slump and need something gorgeous and relatively quick to work on. Thank you for that. There are some lovely prizes. A lot of very generous people have donated to the prizes for this knit along. And if you click on the link in the description box below that takes you to my blog, you will see photos of the prizes, because I don't have them here to show. But there are knitting patterns from Anna from the Knitting in Mauritius podcast. There are patterns from Inga from the Knitting Traditions podcast, and from Malene from Knitwear by Maki. And Malene also donated project bags to both winners. Beautifully accessory sized project bags in the quality that I love so much. I am crazy about her project bags. And in the project bags will be some luxury yarn from Bettina from A Knitter's World. It is her silk yak base that I shown on the last episode. I showed you these beautiful skeins in autumnal colors. There's going to be a skein of those in each of the project bags. And also one of the winners, the first winner that I will announce, will also get a big box of chocolate donated by Phaser Chocolates. So I'm not going to draw this out any further. I'm just going to show you that random number generator picked this post. A lovely cabled hat with some fluffy goodness on top, right up my alley. So congratulations, Susanna Magia. I will get in touch with you on Instagram so I can get the prize out to you. And I asked again, because there are 2 prizes, we need 2 winners. Another hat, this time a beautiful color work hat by Beach Knitter. And I just want to make sure that you can appreciate the details of this glorious color work. It is so, so pretty. So congratulations to you two, and I will of course also get in touch with you on Instagram so I can get the prizes out. Thank you so much to everyone who participated. And that was it for the content this week. I have decided to try to keep my episodes a little shorter, only speak about the projects that I have been knitting actively on, and by actively I mean more than just putting in a couple of rounds every now and then. My hope is to be able to record every week instead of every other week, but let's see how that goes once I'm in Texas. Now I am going to track down all my belongings scattered all over the hotel room, try to stuff them into my suitcases, and get ready to go to Texas tomorrow morning. Be well. I look forward to seeing you, to recording again once I'm in Texas. Until then, happy knitting, take good care, and enjoy fall or spring, depending on where you are in the world. Bye for now.